So which software is used for HVAC engineering? Well, there's 34 different software for HVAC engineering, and really that's how many I could count, but I'm sure there is more. But in reality, only a handful of these 34 software are used by most HVAC engineers, and those are the software programs that I want to talk about in this video. Also, I'm going to mention which software you need to know if you want to start your career as an HVAC engineer. Hey, what's up everybody? Arman here with AEC Learn. In this channel, we talk about HVAC engineering and we help you to better understand what is HVAC engineering and what are the HVAC systems. If you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button down below this video. And also, I'm going to list out everything that I talk about in the notes below this video. So let's get to the video. Every HVAC engineer needs to know at least one load calculation software. A load calculation software helps you to calculate peak cooling and heating load of a building to size the right HVAC equipment for the building that you're designing. The most common software programs for load calculation in the US are Hourly Analysis Program or HAP and Trace3D Plus. These are both great software and they meet the requirements of ASHRAE and Department of Energy or DOE. In addition to peak load calculation, these two software can simulate building and mechanical system performance throughout the year. This type of simulation is very important for operational cost estimate and energy saving calculations. If you're new to HVAC engineering and you want to get your first job as an HVAC engineer, you need to learn only one of these two software programs. But before learning the software, you need to make sure that you understand how heat and mass transfers inside the building and between the building and its outside environment. Once you learn that, learning the software actually becomes very easy. For the start, you can focus on calculating peak cooling and heating loads of a building, and then as you work with the software and get more familiar with its features, you can start simulating the building performance throughout the year. These two software programs are very expensive, but the good news is that you can download their trial version and work with that for learning. The next type of software program is for air distribution system design or ductwork design. This type of design is one of the most frequent tasks for every HVAC engineer. ASHRAE Duct Fitting Database is one of the most commonly used software for ductwork design. With this software, you can size different sections of the ductwork system, and you can also calculate pressure drop for ductwork components such as fittings, dampers, and obstructions. Some engineers don't use this software. Instead, they use a physical tool that is called Ductivulator, or they use its free online versions. I personally believe that those engineers use this physical tool because they're just not aware of ASHRAE Duct Fitting Database software, or they don't know how great this software is. Now, if you're new to HVAC engineering and you want to get your first job as an HVAC engineer, the good news is that you don't need to learn ASHRAE Duct Fitting Database. Usually, employers don't require entry-level engineers or interns to know about this software because it's very easy to learn at work. Just like air distribution system design, piping design or hydronic system design is a very frequent task in HVAC engineering. AFT Fathom and Pipeflow are two of the most commonly used software for piping design in HVAC engineering. I personally work with these two software and they have every feature that you need for a complete piping system design. With these two software, you can model a piping system with all of its components such as valves, fittings, and really any equipment or component that you see in piping systems. Once you model all of that, you can calculate pressure drop in the entire system and size the right pump for your application. Companies almost never require any entry-level engineer or intern to know AFT Fathom or Pipeflow. The main reason is that these two software programs are mainly used for complex piping system design, and complex piping system design is not a task for an entry-level engineer or intern. So you don't need to learn any of these two software programs if you're looking for your first job as an HVAC engineer. Modeling and drawing production software programs are used by pretty much every HVAC engineer. Revit and AutoCAD are two of the most commonly used software programs for those type of tasks. For new and large projects, It makes sense to model the entire building with all of its HVAC systems in 3D because it helps a lot with design coordination, and also it increases the accuracy of the design. For those type of projects, Revit is a better software than AutoCAD because Revit has more powerful tools for 3D design and model management. But for small projects or projects in which you want to make a change to an existing system, creating a 3D model of the entire building with all of its HVAC system is really not needed. Instead, architects and engineers use 2D models. For these cases, AutoCAD is a better software than Revit because AutoCAD has better tools for 2D modeling and 2D drawing production. With AutoCAD, generally you can quickly generate 2D models and 2D drawings. As these two software programs have applications in pretty much every HVAC engineering project, companies require entry-level engineers and interns to know how to use Revit and AutoCAD. So if you're looking for your first job or first HVAC engineering job, you definitely want to know how to use Revit and AutoCAD, and you want to list them on your resume. One quick note about learning Revit and AutoCAD. If you want to become an HVAC engineer, you need to learn these two software only after you learn the fundamentals of HVAC engineering. Otherwise, you will not fully understand why you're designing what you're designing within these two software programs. Now, a question for you. Which HVAC engineering software programs do you use at work? And which HVAC engineering software programs do you think that an entry-level HVAC engineer needs to learn? Post your answers in the comment section, and your answers are very important to us because we support HVAC engineering community and we love to help entry-level HVAC engineers. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Definitely subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Now, if you want to become an HVAC engineer, I highly recommend downloading the step-by-step guide to become an HVAC engineer from the link below.